Record. Okay. So we are just going to chat about building the courage to grow your team. This has just been my entire day today, so we're just going to jump into kind of exactly how I formulate my sneak peeks and like the reasoning behind everything, so I can really break it down for you and you can see like the entire thought process behind why I choose to mention certain things and really how to break it down in a way where people can truly understand not only the passion behind what you do, but exactly what it is that you do, so that they have a good understanding of it and are more likely to sign up with you. So just jumping into it, the basics. So why to build a team? I personally love focusing more on building my team, just because when you are adding clients to your customer base, you can obviously change their life through their health and fitness journey and in that way. But when you add people to your team, you have an opportunity to not only change their life through their health and fitness, but also through, financially, through like mentally, and creating this bigger belief in themselves and their entire kind of life path. So to me, it allows you to do more than just focus on health and fitness, but change someone's life overall. And to me, it is really just also amazing to watch the amount of growth that takes place when someone joins your team, and the amount of like confidence and courage that someone truly builds for themselves. And you can truly really watch someone grow into like this beautiful, confident human being through coaching and through learning how to put themselves out there and, have control over their story and sharing their story and really sharing their truth in that way. And the amount of confidence that builds is truly beautiful. And that's something that just doesn't really come to light through adding clients in the same way as it does to adding to your team. So it's just a completely different level of fulfillment there. But it also, as far as your business goes, helps you to build this strong foundation. When you are adding clients and things like that, yes, that is, sorry, that was a computer turning on. Yes, that's like super fulfilling in its own way, and you're gaining commission from that, but it's not going to help you build a strong foundation for like a legitimate income for yourself, because you're just solely earning commission, and that's going to exhaust you very quickly. And that's not something you want to be consistently relying on in order to have a consistent income on yourself. You don't want to be relying on having to sign up X amount of like customers a month in order to hit a certain income goal. And you want a little bit more of like stability there for yourself. So that's what comes through building a team. You have more financial opportunities as well. So if you sign up five coaches in a 5-week period, you get $100 bonus. And that's just for building your team. So I don't know if you guys know that, but so if you added 10 coaches a month, you get an extra $200, or I guess it would be in 10 coaches in 5 weeks, you would, so a little over a month, you would get a $200 bonus just for growing your team. So not only do you get commission, but you get that additional little like bump of income and additional bonus that way, as well as you tap into your team cycle bonus. So with your team helping people as well, whether they're building their own team through personal orders, through signing up clients themselves, that creates volume underneath you. And when your volume cycles, which is a completely other team call to get into, but when that cycles, you wind up earning a team cycle bonus, and you get money from that as well. So like right now, I cycle multiple times a week, so I'm accruing income that I'm not even really working for. It's because I'm helping to mentor a team of people who are also doing the things that I do, right? And creating that volume underneath me and creating that foundation of income for myself. And it's really just about like paying it forward in that way and that ripple effect. And that's how you build that strong foundation, so that way you have a solid income to go off of. Most lucrative part of this business, income went off of that, but also the ability to truly build your team and connect with people who, have the same beliefs as you, are very similar to you, as far as like interests and why you got into this business and where you want this business to go, having that circle of people that like honestly you just connect with in such a different way and truly are like your people is just a whole another level of like why this business is so fulfilling. And honestly, the way you connect with the people on your team because you're on this journey with them and really going through like these growing pains of like, you know, learning how to be an entrepreneur and really going after this dream of the life that you want for yourself and these bigger goals and things like that, it builds this connection that is truly unreal. And having that connection of people behind you on that same mission and like belief system than you is really freaking powerful. So I'm just going to jump into kind of how I go about sharing this opportunity and how I even went about like building the confidence to get to a point of sharing this, because I was like the most shy person ever when I signed up. I remember going on team calls when I first signed up with Mandy and I literally wouldn't even show my face. And so I was like the definition of a wallflower when I signed up. And I was the person in school who would do presentations and like my voice would shake and I would get so nervous. And like when people give you those reviews after you do presentations, like my little review was always like, just take a deep breath before you start and like things like that. Like people just like coddling me because I was like so anxious about, you know, sharing anything, even if it was something that I had knowledge about. Just like stepping in front of a group of people to share that made me very anxious. So I really had to practice speaking in general, practice speaking on camera, and really grow myself into a person who can share my thoughts in a way that, you know, made sense and allowed people to really follow my thought process and in a way really practice speaking so I could speak how I felt about this opportunity through my words and share truly that level of like confidence and passion that I had and have that tangibly like show through the way I spoke. So the way I did that was really starting out just speaking on my Instagram stories and talking on there all the time. And really embracing the power of video, because I think it is so different, like typing out something on your page and being able to edit it and change the wording and reread through it and everything and edit in that way, versus when you speak on video, the way it comes out the first time is the way it comes out. So really practicing through your speech and the way you talk about things, like how to communicate how this opportunity makes you feel and what it has done for you. And I did that off camera as well. So I would literally be like in my bedroom, like just speaking about it, like to the wall, you know, but you could do it to like your sister, your mom, whoever, and just explain like why you're so excited about what you do and what coaching is, and explaining that to people. And the more that you do it, even if it's like to a camera, to a wall, or to an actual person, like the more you practice just explaining what it is that we do and why it matters to you, the more confidence you will build and the more passion you will have behind the words that you speak. So something that I did starting out when I started first doing my first info sessions, because honestly, when I was using Mandy's info sessions, I don't have a single person on this team now that stuck around after they signed up using her info sessions. And a lot of times it was a frustrating process because when I used her info sessions, they connected to Mandy and Mandy's wordings, and it made them want to sign up with her and not with me. Or when they did sign up with me, it was like a disconnect because Mandy and I have slightly different, you know, like values and ways of doing things. So truly, as scary as it can be, taking that leap and running your own info sessions is, I think, honestly, the best way that you can grow in this business and the best thing that you can do for your business, because it leads to such huge growth. And it allows you to truly find that tribe of people that you connect with and that really resonate with you. So what I did when I first started was I would write out everything that I wanted to say. Because for me, when I like pressed record on that camera, I had like moments of like panic when I first started. And it was like I completely forgot like the point of what I was saying or like where I wanted to start and like where I wanted to like go from there, where my next point was leading. And so for me, just taking out a notebook and writing down my story from like not start to finish in like detail, but just having bullet points to go off of really helped me to map out how I wanted to express everything in a way that was easy to follow, in a way that helped me remember what I wanted to say on video. So I'm going to break down exactly how I share my story and like things I share like that. So you'll see that, but really taking the time to map that out for yourself helps you to stay on track, because you have that plan going into the video when you hit record. And I'm going to be honest, when I first started, I would hit record like over and over and over because I would just get to points where I would be like, I forgot my train of thought, you know, or like you start like mushing up words and things like that. And that's fine. And that's natural. And that's part of the growth process. And you will honestly get to a point where you practice so much where now the video that I used in my info session today for my story piece and What a Coach Does, those were done in one take. And I just had so much, you know, I've had so much practice along the way, and I've done this so many times that I've gotten to a point where I can easily just kind of communicate what my story is and what this has done for me, as well as like what a coach does and what I appreciate about this journey, because I had all those stepping stones along the way, and because I allowed myself to really lean into this growth process and allowed myself to, you know, not have it be perfect the first time and have that be okay. And in the beginning as well, because it was so hard for me to do like one single take in one go, I would break it up into sections. So I would like record one little like part of my story and then stop. And then I would kind of look through my notes and record the next little chunk and then stop. And then when I went to the editing process, I would blend it all together and just make it so like at the end, when I was like recording the first chunk, I would just make sure that at the end of each chunk in the beginning, I was looking directly at the camera, so that way it would blend really easily. So then when I went back to like put it all together, it looked more seamless than like it actually was when I recorded it. Sorry, I'm like super out of breath. So thirsty. So that's just like a little tidbit there. So honestly, like, do what you can with what you've got. You don't have to, there's like different strategies and ways you can do things to make it work best for where you are, where you're at now in your journey, and like how confident you are with speaking. So if you need to put like little talking points and put it taped to the wall behind your camera or something and just like look up at them quickly as you're going, like do that. But you know, like it doesn't have to be perfect, and you can have these little like tricks and things that you do along the way as you build confidence. But the most important thing is just putting yourself out there and trying, because I promise you, the more you express like how this opportunity has helped you grow, and the more you express what it is we do, the easier it is for you to sign up people, the easier it is for you to truly speak with the level of confidence that you want to, and for other people to feel that excitement that you have. So then at the bottom, what challenges you also helps you build the most confidence. I will tell you without a doubt, the thing that has helped me truly like become the person I am now is video and talking on video. And because that terrified me, and doing the things in this business that truly terrified me the most are the things that help me build the most confidence in and outside of coaching, and in and outside of this business have truly helped me to become this more confident and convicted version of myself. So the things that challenge you are the things that are truly going to benefit you and your business the most in the long run. So building trust with your audience. So I'm going to just jump kind of into my sneak peek process now. So when you go into your info session, you want to have this certain level of professionalism, but you also want to be raw enough where you're drawing back the curtain and truly allowing them to kind of connect with you as a person. So, what I do is when I set up my info session, you want to make sure like you have a nice banner and everything in there, and you have a schedule and everything posted. So, you know, there's that level of professionalism there. They're going in seeing like, oh, this girl has like a plan of when everything's going to be posted. And then they also know what to expect, right? But then when you go into your videos, like, you need to seem like a real person. You don't want to be just like reiterating facts about what we do. Like, add a personal touch to it and truly share, like, this is what we do, but this is what I appreciate about it. And that level of like passion that you share and the level of like sharing what you truly love is what's going to make them connect to what we do so much more than if you're just like verbatim explaining it like fact for fact. So I'm gonna jump into it. So the first thing I share is my story. And this is what I share first because it's truly what pulls people in and grips them, because this is what they're going to connect to. People love a good story. But that's truly, you know, it allows them to connect to you as their mentor and allows them to connect to you as a person, and they can see themselves in your story in some way. And if they can, that's what's going to keep them hooked and keep them interested to go to the next video and find out more, and to go to the video after that and find out more, because they're like, dang, like if this did this for her and I'm in that same spot, like what could it do for me in my life? So you always want to put this thing first. Your story. So this is the reason that people truly sign up with you, because they resonate with your story and they're similar to you in some way. So I break down, you want to think about who you were before coaching or what you wanted to change. So I go farther back than just when I started coaching and I was unhappy in my job, because really why I appreciate coaching has to do with more than just like hating being a preschool teacher. So I go all the way back and let them know that when I was growing up, I struggled with eating disorders and self-doubt and self-love and things like that, because part of why I love coaching so much is because it took me out of that space and that person who had that less than mindset my whole life to someone who now can like dream bigger and want more for myself and isn't stuck like settling and thinking I'm not good enough for what I want. So I bring them all the way back there and talk about that change, as well as tie it into preschool teaching and how I was unsatisfied with my job and like financial status and all that stuff, and how coaching has given me all this stuff now and freedom and blah, blah, blah. And if you're not in that spot yet where you've, you know, come a long way where you can be like, well, I've quit my full-time job, or I've been able to go on all these trips and I wanted to travel and blah, 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 then you can share your vision of where you want this to go. So you can talk about what grabbed your interest when you learned about coaching. I talk about how, like before I even quit my job, I used to talk about how I was put in a group very similar to the same info session that they were in. And that when I was in that group, I heard my mentor talk about how she afforded this trip to go to Iceland. And then she saved up money to go on this trip and blah, 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 so amazing. And then eventually she was able to quit her job. So that was what I shared as like my tangible evidence, since I didn't have any yet. And then I went into my vision of where I wanted my life to go and but speaking to a level of confidence. So you're not just saying like, my hope in this is to, be able to quit my job in 6 months. You say with full confidence, I'm going to build this to a point where I'm going to quit my job in 6 months or something like that. Talk to a level, you have to speak to a level of confidence and conviction where the person's like, okay, like, yeah, she's going to do it. Because if you sound like you have like any hint of doubt in your voice, in your story when you're talking about this, why would they believe you or put their faith in you to take them along that same journey? So you almost have to, it's like this fake it till you make it mentality, and just speaking to where you want to be and not where you are now. And that helps them dream bigger and see that picture for themselves as well. Okay, so video 2, what coaching is. So with this, I make this a whole video by itself just because I think this is like the meat of the info session. You know, people want to know what the heck they're going to be doing. So you want to make sure that you're breaking that down in detail so they understand what they're signing up to do. So you want to make sure you avoid any salesy terms or Beachbody lingo, because nobody's going to know what the heck any of that means. You're going to confuse them. And a lot of the time that stuff that's going to turn people off. So you want to think like, how would you explain what you do to your mom? Like if your mom's like, what have you been up to? Like, what is this new thing that you're doing? How would you explain it to her? How would you simplify it in a way that like she could understand? Because that's truly how you want to break it down and really simplify it into the main components. And then give some examples as well, just to help people understand. So I break it down into sharing your journey on social media. And I make sure to say that like, I share that my journey doing these programs and doing these programs that our company creates. So they already go into it knowing like they're going to be doing specific programs created for them, not their own thing in the gym. So sharing their journey on social media, connecting with others and growing interest through their posts. And I give examples of things I post about. So I'll talk about, you know, like sharing my like meal prep ideas, the type of program I'm doing, why I got involved in a health and fitness journey to begin with. And I just kind of like give them a few tangible examples so they get an idea of like, okay, like I could post that, that's not too hard. And then I break it down where I literally say I'm creating interest on my page, and then I'll make a post each month and I explain what a CTA is without saying CTA. And I'll say I make a post and basically just saying that I'm opening up spots to help people in my online boot camp this month, and that I reach out to people who show interest, and then I chat goals with them and I break that down. And then I say once someone signed up on a program and I've like chat about their goals and what kind of time constraints they have and things like that, they get into my online boot camp. And then I explain an online boot camp. And I just say like it's just an online group where everybody checks in daily with their workouts and their shakes, and everybody just holds each other accountable. And I explain why I think that's valuable and why I appreciate that. So then it creates even more value there. But it's also a space where you can mention any like mini concerns about things as well. Like a lot of times people will mention like, I have a small following, like how could I ever like help anyone? I have no one to take my pictures. I'm still on my own fitness journey. So you can talk about the value of like being in this group alongside people who are at the same point in their journey, also trying to work on themselves. And you can address a lot of different objections that you usually get inside that video as well, which is what I usually try to do, just so at the end, when people are going to sign up, they don't have a ton of objections for me, or they don't have a ton of like unvoiced things that they're not expressing to me because like I haven't mentioned these things. So then video 3, I do common questions, which is basically just a pre-recorded Q&A. So I love doing it this way because I'm not just talking about, you know, how we make money and how to sign up, which is the way a lot of people end their sneak peeks, but it allows me to answer even more objections. So I cover the programs that we offer more in depth. So I bring them through like a description of what Beachbody On Demand is. I don't call it Beachbody On Demand. I just say like we have 70+ different workout programs, and I explain that we have like yoga, Pilates, blah, blah, and all the different types. And then I explain like the meal plans associated with each, and that there's vegan ones as well and things like that. What else do I cover in that? I talk about social media a bit more usually, and kind of that like the concern with not having a big following or not knowing what you're doing. And I just kind of talk about how I grew and learned along the way. I talk about the new coach training in depth and kind of what it teaches them to do so they know that they have that guidance there. And then I break down how we make money, and I break down what to expect from me. So then that's really just summing up like the whole package of like the new coach training, our team group, what else do I mention? That they have access to my monthly online boot camp so they can see how that's run. And then I break down what they need to get started. So I describe the whole challenge pack and what's in that, having access to their website, Coach Online Office. But then I always like to end on like a final vote of confidence. So after you describe all that stuff and you've just given them that info, like remind them the value of like what you saw in this and how this could change their life. So that's the last thing that they're thinking of before you say that registration is open. because you want to leave them like on that more positive note and remind them of the interest that they had in this to begin with. So then staying in touch. So this has made a huge difference for my info sessions. So this is how I really just break down the different kind of reminders that I send people as my info session goes through. So I've been doing 3-day info sessions just because I think it gives people more time to watch the videos on their own schedule. I used to do 2-day info sessions and I just felt like it was a little bit too rushed. So now after the first video goes up, I just send them a quick message just to say like, hey, it went up. I'm here if you have any questions, just so they know that you're there for them along this process. But also you can't go into it expecting like that everybody's going to be so like invested in this, that they're going to be like so on top of the schedule, that they're going to be on Facebook to watch the video exactly whenever you post it every day. So you need to give them a reminder because people have other things going on. So, you know, you don't want it to get to Wednesday when your first video went up and you sent them the link to the group on Monday and they've just completely forgot that the group is even going on. So you want to stay in touch to remind them of what's going on. So after each video is posted, I just check in, and then it also allows them to answer or ask me any questions that they might have like in the meantime as well. And I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to show you guys kind of how I've been sending these lately too, in a way that's more time efficient. But this is also helpful because you'll have people you sent the link to that don't join the group after you send it the first time. But when you start sending these reminder messages, you'll have people start requesting to get in the group that weren't there right at the beginning, because now they're like, oh, right, I forgot to do that, you know, and you remind them to join. And I'll have people sometimes that don't join until I send them the final message that says registration is open. So making sure you're like consistently following up with people and making sure that they feel that you're there for them and you're not just trying to like dump them in this group. And then I follow up a couple days later. So if I haven't heard from someone after I say registration is open and things like that, I'll send them this a few days later just to check in again and see if they've watched the videos, if they have any questions and things. And this message has helped me a lot as far as people who don't reach out because they're just kind of wallflowers and they have objections that they just like didn't really voice and things like that. So the people that are more nervous to kind of talk to you about things. So this was is a great message for kind of relating to people and helping to draw out those objections from people so you can actually address them. And a lot of the time it happens to be like the price objection, but then you can add them to your follow-up list and things like that. So super helpful there. So, oh snap. Okay, so collecting contact info. This is what I have linked into my Instagram, like Instagram website link thing, Linktree right now for coaching. So I just collect their first name and their email address. And then, so I'll send people this, and then I put them into Streak, which I kind of want to show you guys exactly how this works, because this is how I've been sending all those messages this past sneak week, and it makes it so freaking quick. So if this isn't something you are utilizing at the moment, let me see if I can pull up my Gmail. I can even see what I'm typing. Okay. Let's see. But it just makes it so quick because you can literally, I had, let's see. You set up your pipelines over here. This is all through Google Streak. Oh, why is that not? Maybe it doesn't show because I'm sharing my screen. I'm so confused. Pipelines, there we go. Just taking forever to load. So where's this? I never used this before. I tried to use it a while ago and it didn't stick. And I went back to using Instagram messages, but that's so time consuming to go type in everybody's username and send them a message and things like that. So this makes it so quick. So I literally just have everyone's email and their first name logged into here. And then to send them the updates, I just click this whole section that says send info session invite. I click this little airplane, which fetches all their emails, and then I can send them a mass message. So they can't see that it's sending to the other 70 whatever people, they just see that it's a message from me to them. So then I can say, hi, I can insert a variable, so I just insert their name, and that's messing up because of this. So insert their name, and be like, just wanted to let you know the first video and whatever. And if you click on this, you can see how it changes. So it says, hi, Crystal. Hi, Bianca. So it changes it for every person, and you can just type out whatever, and then you hit send, and it'll send it to all 70 people or however many you have, and you're done. And that's it. So it just allows you to really focus more on you know, answering people's questions and objections and the things that are really going to help you like move forward and help people feel like you you know, are connecting with them and building a relationship and understand where they're coming from, versus spending all your time like copying and pasting a message into your Instagram inbox. So that is a huge time saver. And then the last thing here is just when someone tells you you're ready, I think this is the part where so many people kind of fudge up sometimes, because you get so excited about the fact that someone's interested that sometimes that excitement is a little scary. So you want to slow down, just like we talked about with like the client conversations. Take a minute, take a breath, and let them know that you're excited for them. But then before you're like, let me send you the sign up, stop for a minute and see if they have any more questions. Because I promise you, the rate to which you sign up people on your team is going to increase so much if you take that second to just see if they're in a good place to start, or if they have some objections that they just haven't voiced yet. And a lot of the time, I will get people who are like just wondering, if you can kind of like reiterate what you said about this and explain this a bit more, or they'll ask me like what's in the whole startup package, so they're understanding like what they're paying for, and I can like reiterate that to them, or they have like a concern about something else. But it just allows you to open that door to hear their objections and like hear where they're coming from, so you are making them feel like you're there for them, and not that you're trying to get a sale off of them, you know, or make money off of them, but truly taking that second just to ask like, do you have all the info that you need, or is there something else you're concerned about? Let them know that you care. And that makes a world of difference. And when it comes to actually sending them the link and things like that, then you have a higher sign up rate, because you have people that trust that you have their best interest at heart. And that is really all I have for you guys. Let me stop share. Let me see, I saw some things in the chat. Yeah, and actually what I did this past sneak peek, I used to have videos that had like a pretty graphic in front that said like video 1 and had like music filtering in. But then I was like, it's almost like too, I don't know, I wanted it to have like this more natural feel. So I took that out and just made videos that were just me talking and had that out of it. So it felt like less kind of like put together and more just like me naturally speaking to people. I don't know what you're talking about that for that last thing, Ronnie. But yeah, let me stop recording.